Welcome to the Sidebar. The Sidebar will serve as a mini-sode between our longer episodes where we're going to deep dive into something that we discussed in the previous episode. Today's Sidebar is titled The Brick You Didn't Plan. Let's get into it. Some of the most important bricks in our story are the ones we didn't lay on purpose. And say that again. Some of the most important bricks in our story are the ones that we did not lay on purpose. Y'all, the way that I can reflect, I'm 37 years old. I can reflect on the past 20 years of my life and really literally pick out and pull out the bricks that I never expected, anticipated to lay down in my life that has led me to where I am. And the way that I'm so proud of where I am, I wish I could write a novel about it. Life is full of detours. Sometimes we have this grand plan of how we want every single chapter of our life to work out. I'm currently in chapter 37, like I stated, and I may have had expectations of where I was going to be at this age or in this chapter right now, in this season I am in my life. However, I know that God, the universe, whatever you believe in, has a larger plan, that sometimes we try to force our own plan and we're working against what he has in store for us. So I have learned, one of the things that I've learned over my little 37 years of life is to just stop being so micromanaging of my life, because I can't control all the things that happen. I can't anticipate or expect what I want to happen in this specific season of my life to happen, because sometimes it doesn't happen and you're like, well, damn, what's going on? Why didn't it happen? Why aren't these things, opportunities happening for me? Within 5 years from now, you're going to reflect and be like, you know what? I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm glad this happened this certain kind of way. I'm glad that that item did not come into my life. I'm glad that I did not meet that person, whatever the case may be. One of the most important bricks in my life is my husband. He is my best friend. He is my entire world. I love him down. He's the best person I know. He's better than me. He's like just a heart of gold, a good person, a good friend, a good son, a good everything. And I would have never met my husband if I would have transferred universities when I was, 19 years old. My first year in undergrad, freshman year, I roomed with my best friend at that time from high school. They tell you don't ever room with your best friend because y'all may fall out. And that happened to me. Never expected that to ever happen. Didn't never think, but we did fall out. So the following semester, spring semester, I ended up getting a new roommate. My whole thing in my mind was, okay, I don't want to be at this school anymore. This is it's a sore topic, excuse me. I want to go ahead and transfer schools, go to another school. I was considering going to Sahara University because that's always kind of a dream, quote unquote, dream school for me. And so I even applied, got in, all the things. But something was like, no, Sahara, you're kind of running away from the things that you are trying to accomplish, or that you're trying to force yourself to be uncomfortable. Because my motto is, you got to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. You have to go through hard things to get to the good side of the other part of the coin, right? So I ended up not transferring. I ended up staying in my undergrad. And when I think back to that time, I'm so happy that I did. Because number one, my roommate, my second year, my sophomore year, I ended up being an RA. So that was a stipend that I received. I ended up joining an organization that put me in the viewpoint of my pro-fights of my sorority. And that allowed me and them to see my work ethic and them to see something in me for me whenever I was ready to pledge and apply. I was accepted because I am a member of the Sorority Incorporated. And then I also just stayed on the path of my major. If I would have transferred to Howard University, I probably would have changed my major to something else. Was education always in the cards for me? No, it was not. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I hate science. I'm not a science girly at all. I'm more of an English and history person. So I did pivot my major whenever I got into undergrad to special education, actually. Didn't end in that. I ended in just plain middle school English and social studies education. But I had a lot of pivots in life, right? And those pivots allowed me to, number one, become an RA, meet people that I would have never met during undergrad, join my sorority that I love so dearly, become an educator, right? And then not even 2 weeks after I graduated from undergrad, I met my husband. Now, if I would have been in Washington, D.C., where Howard University is located, I would have never, ever crossed paths with my husband. Now, I'm not saying we would have never met, because we were born in the same city. He lived in the same city. I would have came back home eventually, but just sticking through how long that could have took We could have been in other relationships. It could have took us a lot longer to get to each other. I met him when I was 22 years old. I'm 37 now. So he is like my adult life. He is my world, like I stated earlier. So I'm so happy that, yeah, in the moment you question, like, okay, God, why is this friendship ending right here for me? Why am I changing my major to this? Why am I not transferring to another school? Whatever the case may be. You question those things and you're like, okay, 5 years later, you're like, okay, well, God, you did your big one. Because I'm glad I didn't transfer. I'm glad I didn't do this. I'm glad I didn't let this overtake me or overwhelm me. Because I was allowed to really sit in my stuff, be uncomfortable, and then meet people that changed my life for the best, for the good. That brick was not laid by me. It was not laid on purpose. It was a brick that was kind of just shoehorned and placed there against my will. I would never wish anybody to ever go through a best friend breakup like I did. It's like the worst thing ever, but I'm so happy that it happens. I am a firm believer in serendipity. I'm a firm believer in what's for you is for you. You don't chase, you attract. So if something is meant to be in your life, it's going to be in your life. One of the beautiful things about Adriana's episode, I titled her episode Wandering on Purpose. Her number one, her social media handle is Adriana's Wanderings because she does a lot of different things. But I felt after hearing her story, I felt that it was very relevant to her journey because she went through a lot, like not necessarily went through a lot like hard things, but she has a life journey that she can really reflect on and talk about and say, okay, this helped me be this person. I went to California and met my wife because whatever happened in that situation, all those bricks that she didn't lay allowed her to be where she is now. And I think sometimes we try to force a brick to stay there, or we try to sit here and plant this brick or place this brick in a specific section that we don't need to have a brick at. So we have to really sometimes stop being so micromanaging and stop making things happen and plans happen and just let the season take its course. Everything has a season under the sun. Like everything has a season under the sun, y'all. I'm a spiritual person. So I try to allow the world and just the space and things to just happen. Yes, is it hard as hell? My God, you're like, well, why is this not happening right now? Why haven't we done this? Why haven't we done that? But you really have to take yourself out of it and say, okay, clearly it's a bigger and better plan coming up for me. So just have patience and just allow the things to happen. Life is full of detours. Everything happens for a reason. And we are in a better space whenever we accept that life is full of detours. That, again, everything happens for a reason. We can't force items to happen. We can't force a brick to be laid. We have to just let things play out. And yeah, you're going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, you're going to have to sit here and jump in the deep end and maybe not know how to swim and kind of float and doggy paddle until you can kind of figure out how to get your bearings together under the water, but you're not going to die. We have to do hard things, and hard things are hard. That's why it's called hard things, right? But we really have to sit here sometimes, step back and reflect on the things that we have done hard in the past and be like, I'm still alive. Like, I'm still here. I've accomplished A, B, and C. If I would have changed my major to education and stayed at my undergrad university, I would have met my husband, wouldn't have pledged my sorority. I would not have been a teacher for however many years. I would not have gone into ed tech. I would not have started my consulting agency. I would not have gone into higher ed. I would not have gotten my master's. Like, it's so many things that literally happens because I stayed at my undergrad university. Not saying I didn't have another pathway, another timeline in my life if I would have went to Howard University. And not saying that those things would not have ever happened, but I am happy when I reflect on the last 20 years of my life. I'm so proud and happy of the things that I've accomplished. So yeah, again, I know it's hard to sit in things that are difficult for you, that you really wish were not happening in that moment, and that you question the universe, God, whatever you believe in, of why it's happening in that moment. But everything happens for a reason. What's for you is for you. Do not chase, you attract. We are like, life is full of detours. Let it happen, and then you can figure it out on the way. Talk to y'all soon.